know, no matter your political views, this 2020 election season has been a source of anxiety, of stress, of disappointment for a lot of people. Joining us now with more on how to handle your feelings and how you can stay calm is brain doctor and workplace wellness expert, Dr. Romie Mushtaq. Good morning to you. It is always good to see you. I feel like it's been forever since we've talked.
It is, Danielle. It's always great to see the entire Good Day Orlando team, even though if we're meeting virtually, especially under these stressful times.
And stress, I think, is an understatement, because even this morning, right, you wake up and there are still numbers that are being counted in the presidential race. What advice can you offer people who may still be feeling some anxiety? Because I think people thought they'd wake up this morning and either be really, really happy or really, really sad, but they're probably both. Now, they probably have all of these emotions going on right now.
Well, Danielle, let's talk about what the obvious is 2020 is unlike any other, and our bandwidth to handle stress anymore. We're dealing with a global pandemic and an economic crisis, and your homie Dr. Romie is here to say there is no one that isn't unaffected by the pandemic. And so when you wake up in an instant gratification society and you want results, what we know from mental health data in 2016 is we have election stress disorder. It doesn't matter if your candidate wins or not. But what we know from that study is if one of your local, state, or national candidates loses, you're more likely to suffer mental health consequences like anxiety, depression, and post-traumatic stress disorder.
You know, can I tell you, I don't remember us having these conversations, though, in 2016. And as you said, I think there's just something about 2020 that is just extraordinarily different in terms of the stress and anxiety. How do you know when that's reached a tipping point?
Yeah, Danielle, you're very right that everything feels different right now. And if we could have some Romie real talk this morning, I'm going to say, ask everyone to protect yourself and not project. And I give this example. I was in a crowded, covered parking lot on Sunday, and an SUV was speeding by. And to the left of me, people were screaming, "That must be a Biden supporter." And to the right of me, they're like, "No, no, that crazy driver must be a Trump supporter." That's known as projecting. When we protect our feelings, we look withinward and we pause and say, you know what, in this moment, I'm scared. I'm anxious. That car could have hurt a child. I'm anxious about the election. I feel out of control. I'm already upset about my life because of the pandemic, whatever that may be. And when we project, we're more likely to get into arguments with other people and not feel good within ourselves. And this is why a lot of people say, I'm not feeling better, even if I eat comfort foods or I get enough sleep or I exercise. Dr. Romie, help. Why do I feel like I'm losing my sanity?
You know, I think that may have to do with it's not just the election, right? We have got the coronavirus pandemic. We've got the racial strife. Of course, we've got this 2020 election. There is a lot happening right now. And so how can we create a compassion action plan to kind of help us feel sane again in these uncertain times?
You know, thank you, Danielle. I call it a compassion action plan. As a brain doctor where I talk about mental health in the workplace, I wanted to share with all of our viewers in Central Florida. Compassion means being good to yourself and understanding the suffering you are going through as self-compassion. So it's being kind about your thoughts, about your mental health and your physical health. So take 20 minutes every day to monitor your thoughts. Imagine if you were eating comfort food like I was last night. I may have had more than one bowl of gluten-free macaroni and cheese, right? What would you say? Oh, I'll never lose weight. I am, this is not good for my health. And that's going to make us feel even worse. Instead, say, I'm going to take comfort in what I'm eating right now without guilt and shame. Same thing, do something for 3 to 5 minutes for your mind every day. And that means stepping away from the digital devices and doing something that is calming your sight and your sound, like being in nature or whatever brings you joy, and same for your physical health. A quick tip I give is do 11 jumping jacks and get that blood moving. But most of all, if we want to feel in control, Danielle, schedule the amount of time and what time you're going to check back in here in Fox 35 to get the election results, right? Don't have it running in the background all day.
Well, that's actually some good advice, because I think a lot of us tend to keep the TV on longer than we should. We have to leave it there. Dr. Romie, thank you so much for joining us. I'll start those 11 jumping jacks right now. Thank you. I appreciate you.